Hi everybody! Today we're going to be doing a gentle yoga sequence, and it will be taught to encourage mindfulness, and a lot of it is really just going to be about getting into the pose and then finding what you're noticing. Very much about focusing on the present moment, the here and now. And I'll also be teaching it with the hopes to bring you a little bit of restfulness into your life. So very much a chill sequence. We'll begin by lying down. You can lie down with your legs long or with your knees bent, feet on the mat. And take a moment just to observe your body and allowing yourself to arrive in the moment, feeling points of contact where your body touches the mat beneath you, head, neck, back, arms, buttocks, legs, and feet. Begin to connect with your breath, finding your inhale and your exhale. See if you can notice the rising and falling sensation in the belly. As you inhale, belly rises. As you exhale, belly falls. And we'll begin with some movement, starting in the lower body, bending the knees so that the feet are mat width apart. You can bring your arms out into a T or in cactus arms. As you exhale, bring the knees to one side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, back to center. Just beginning to feel into the hips, into the spine perhaps. Just a little bit of a gentle spinal twist going on here. And do one more round. And we'll come into bridge pose, the feet about hip width apart. On an inhale, bring the hips towards the ceiling, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, hips reach up, and exhale, lower down. A few more times. And we'll inhale, reach the hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach up, and exhale. This is just to bring movement into the shoulders. If you feel like this is a little bit too much, you don't have to do the arms. You can just stick to the hips. We'll do 3 more rounds though, wherever you're at. And you can hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze here. And we'll roll over to one side and come up into a seat. And it's just important that you are sitting with a tall spine. And we're going to start by stirring the pot. So you're going to bring your spine in a circular motion. And then you can reverse it. And then find your way back to center. We're going to inhale one arm up, nice and long. Exhale over to one side. And then we're going to do a half cactus here. Inhale, reach over. And then exhale, come down to a little bit of a twist. And then inhale, back up. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and then we'll come up. Other side, reach up, come over, feeling the stretch inside of the body, being rooted down through both sit bones. Exhale, come over, reach down, inhale, exhale, over and down, inhale, exhale, over and back to center. This time we'll come into a butterfly. So bringing the soles of the feet together can keep your spine tall, or you can lower yourself down, up to you with how you'd like to experience this stretch from the hips. You could also actually find more sensation if you want that by bringing your feet closer into you. Breathing here. And then we'll release, bringing the knees together and come onto hands and knees for table. And you just want to make sure that your wrists are beneath your shoulders, knees are beneath your hips. Inhale, drop belly, lift gaze. Exhale, round back, drop head. Beginning to feel into the spine. And so right now I'm just going back and forth, but you can add more to it by doing what my teacher, funny enough, called disco cat-cow. And so I'm just going to take off my sweater to make sure you're able to see my torso. How to do disco cat-cow. So normal cat-cow is going back and forth. Disco cat-cow, you'll go forward and you'll take your ribs out to the right, back into cat, out towards the left, and then back into cow. So you're just taking your ribs in a circular direction. And then you can do the other side. And of course, if you feel like this is a little bit awkward or silly, or if it doesn't feel good in the body, you can always just do the regular cat-cow too. Just do one more round of this. And then go ahead and find your way into a child. Inhale back into table. And exhale back into child. We're just taking a little bit of a bigger movement here. And then you can come into child and hold it. And the next inhale, find your way back into table. Bring your right foot back, tuck the toes, press into the heel, calf stretch. And come back to center, other side. And then coming back to center. So we'll come into a low squat. Just a little bit of a something for the hips. Heels can be up or down. You can also bring the hands to the heart, or you can keep the hands on the ground if you feel as if your balance will be tested or is being tested in this low squat. And then as you're ready, you can release down and find a seat here. We're going to come into a forward fold. So I'm going to be doing a wide forward fold, but if you feel like you'd rather do a closed leg forward fold, you can do that as well. It's It's going to be a very gentle passive practice, that's why. So your feet can be relaxed. You can change how you want to feel. You know, if you want to point the toes, you're going to feel more into the tops of the legs. And really what I mean here is the ankles, more of a stretch in the ankles. Flex, you're going to feel more in the hamstrings and the back of the legs. Or you can just keep your feet relaxed. And that is just a very, very much more passive way of practicing the forward fold, so that it's not so much sensation, but it, of course, still will be sensation in the hips. So you want to start with a tall spine, and then walk your hands forward. Now, if you have props, like if you have blocks or even thick books, you can place them underneath and kind of rest your forearms on top. Same thing can be used if you have like a cushion or a bolster or pillow. This is a bolster. You can rest yourself like this, or in just any other way for you to use a bolster, if that feels all right for you. I know some of you may not even need that. There's probably some people who are flexible enough to come down all the way, but that's not me, and that's definitely not where I'm at today with this much more gentle, hopefully restful way of practicing. And we'll find our way up, and we'll come into a twist. So legs can come together, and then you can bring one foot in. I'm going to sit this way. My left foot's in. Can stay here and just twist like this, or you can bring the foot on the other side and twist. As you inhale, find length through the spine. As you exhale, really feel the twist in the mid and upper back region. And the foot here can be kept relaxed, or you can flex the foot if you want to feel a little bit more of an active practice. And go ahead and release. Find your way on the other side. So my right foot is in or over, and twisting towards the leg that is bent. Finding your way back out to center. We will come onto the back again. But before we do that, we are going to do some boat posing, or boat pose, I guess, and then we will come down one vertebrae at a time. So, you're going to just sit on your sit bones with your knees bent like this. Your hands can be here, or behind the thighs. You just want to lift up. And you can lift up two legs. You can also straighten it, but that's a lot more, or you can just even do them one at a time. Finding a little bit of a boat pose. You can also lift your hands up and away from something, and if you do this, this just makes you work a little bit more in the core. So it's up to you with how much you want to be challenged, and how much you'd like it to be a more gentle boat. It's weird to describe a boat as gentle, but I just did. And then go ahead and release down. We're going to make our way onto the back one vertebrae at a time. So your feet is going to be on the mat. If you're on the mat, and you're just going to roll down and let your legs be long. And just take a moment to observe how it felt to come onto the back once again. Maybe how you're feeling now as compared to the beginning when you start on your back. And you come into a figure four stretch. So you're going to bend the knees, feet on mat, and then you're going to place one foot over, one ankle over thigh. So this is my right ankle over my left thigh. You can stay here and just think about pressing this knee away from you, or you can lift up. And you don't need to stay still. It's nice to stay still sometimes and just feel into the stretch. But sometimes I find rocking myself can really feel nurturing. So whether it's side to side or back and forth, a little bit of rocking can be nice. And then whenever you're ready, you can switch sides. And same thing here, you can just stay here, or you can lift the lift the bottom leg up. And you can be in stillness, or you can move. And then as you're ready, you can release. You're going to bring the legs long, arms up overhead. You're going to walk both hands and feet over to the right side of the mat. And if you like, you can cross one ankle over the other. This is banana pose. Just feeling into that side of the body. And breathing. Seeing what you're noticing. And then we'll walk the hands and feet back over to center. Side of the mat. Again, crossing one ankle over the other. If that feels good, and it doesn't need to be either foot crossed over the other is fine. Ready, you can come back to center. Maybe hug your knees in towards the chest, rocking side to side, feeling into the lower back and the spine. That can be really nice. And then you can just find your way into your preferred form of Shavasana. And I'll just guide you through it and give you a suggestion. If you have a thick pillow or cushion or bolster, placing it under the thighs, or not thighs necessarily, a little bit under the thighs, but really under the knees is more of an accurate description, I think. Can feel really good if you just want to lie down. This can feel really good for the low back, especially if you do a longer Shavasana. The longer we stay in a Shavasana on our back, sometimes it may not feel very nice for the low back. And once you are here, you can close your eyes, soften your gaze, either or. Think of melting your shoulders into the floor a bit more. See how much you can release in the body. Head, neck, back, arms, buttocks, legs, feet. Feeling into your face, forehead, cheeks, and jaw. Maybe you also let your tongue relax. Maybe you let your eyes sink a bit deeper into your eye sockets. And just give yourself permission to be still. And just aware. To be still and just aware of where you're at in this moment. And you can stay here as long as you would like. I always like to recommend that people stay in Shavasana for at least 5 minutes, but if you can do 10 minutes or longer, that's even better. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I will see you soon.